Welcome to PR Talk, sponsored by the PRSA of Oregon and part of the MPN, the Marketing Podcast Network. I'm your host, Amy Rosenberg, founder of Veracity and author of A Modern Guide to Public Relations. So you have reached the portion of the podcast where I'll be going over portions of my book, A Modern Guide to Public Relations. And so if you have any questions or want more information, you can either drop a comment below, or you could pick up a copy of the book anywhere they sell books online, if it's a major bookseller. And if you disagree with anything I'm talking about, or you have a better way to do something, definitely let me know. You can follow us on social. We're at Veracity Marketing on Instagram and LinkedIn. And you could give a comment. You could also tell us maybe you want us to cover something else. We are open to suggestions. Thank you for your support. Hi. Okay, so here are my 6 media etiquette rules from chapter 4 of A Modern Guide to PR. And these are really important. Okay, and so with these, it's not to be super strict, but I think that the point of doing these rules is to just help you feel more confident. So if you have some kind of framework around what to do and what not to do, then you're going to feel more confident. Okay, so now I'm not going to just jump into the 6 rules. That would not be my personality, right? I have to talk a little bit. So these rules really are, these are always rules, right? Like you're going to do these rules, but I'm kind of also super worried about calling press on the phone. So these rules were created for, especially when we have to call press on the phone. And I know we don't do that a lot these days, which is fine and nice actually. But for TV, like if you want to get TV coverage, you still have to call them. And we will talk about all that. There's some structure in place about when to call them. But first, I'm going to go through the media etiquette rules. And some of the etiquette could also have to do with email. But the first rule, you'll see why it's I'm talking about the phone. The first rule, number 1 rule, is when you are calling them, do not launch straight into the pitch. So and then this kind of goes into the secondary rules, but you're saying, hi, this is Amy from the circus. Do you have a sec? That's one of my kind of intro scripts that I use in the book. But so do you have a sec? Is that kind of like you can't be a jerk and just start pitching, like yuck. So that's rule number 1. Don't launch into the pitch right away. Rule number 2 is make your personal introduction brief. So I'm Amy with the circus. Like, who cares what firm you're with? Who effing cares about your last name? Like, maybe you could use your last name if you're feeling nervous, it's fine. But, like if you're ready to go and you're standing up and calling the press, if you actually have a little bit of urgency in your voice, the press might pick up on that and kind of like it. And I've only had one person ask me what my last name was, and it's like, who cares, right? Like, I didn't really say that. It's like, you work in radio. Like, do you literally have time for my last name? Like, yeah. Maybe they were new. Okay, so make your personal intro brief. So that means you're with the client always, and you're just yourself. And it's just because you need to get into the pitch. And so actually, I'll just go into the whole pitch. So it's a circus. It's not like the circus, la, 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 la. Like everybody has a long name right now with clients or companies, right? So, but nobody has time for that on the phone. And you want to get to the point again. And so, so you just say you're with the circus or whatever. And then sometimes you can even get real tricky and you drop the name of the client, because guess what, guys? That's what the press release is for. So how you drop it, you can kind of incorporate who you're with in a different, cooler way. So let's say I'm working for a real estate company, but they have like a really boring name. The circus is kind of cool. Like, yeah, the circus. So, but let's say it's real estate companies. I'm calling with the real estate brokers who are volunteering today or something. And then partially you can kind of get your pitch into your little quick intro, because so here's what's going to happen. Meaning I'm going to expand upon this pitch. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, okay, you're going to say, hi, this is Amy with the circus. Do you have a sec? They're going to say, yeah, but not a lot of time. It's like, duh, thanks. I mean, I get it. Protect your time. I do the same thing, but I'm not new at this. Okay, sorry. It's like, okay, let's get that over with. So what we're going to say is we're going to do the like whole pitch in like one sentence. And so you get ready, right? So you have to think about, what are your visuals? Why are you calling? So here's the pitch. This is Amy with the circus, calling about the 12 train cars that will roll in today with clowns, lion tamers, and livestock. Do you have a second? So that's 2 sentences, and you've kind of got all in there. So your pitch is the 12 train cars that will, I feel like I can't, it's like I'm doing one of those funny things where I'm going to mess up my words. So you're gonna roll into town. That's the pitch, okay? So it's TV, it's visual. Do you have a second? Okay. I've been doing this a long time. That's why I'm training you guys to do it, so you can do it for me when you're excited about it. I guess I kind of don't like the attitude I get back. I mean, anyway, but get over it. Get over it. We don't care if we have attitude back with media. That's our job. We don't care. Okay, so that's the pitch, and then so that incorporates the 2 rules. Now, building upon the rules. Now, this is more like profesh and stuff like that. Like if you're emailing and somebody asks you something to do, like if they say, yeah, but could you remind me in 2 weeks? Or if you're on the phone and they say, yeah, but could you call me back at 3 o'clock? Do it. That's it. So the 3rd rule is do what they ask of you. That's it. Okay. Rule number 4, deliver on your promises. So that's different than doing what they ask of you. So if the promises piece is like, if I'm pitching a CEO and she's out of town and she can't do anything, then that's stupid. Trust me, it happens. But first, I mean, for print, it's okay because it's like, you don't know how long the deadline is going to be. But for TV, like if I'm pitching something that day, like I need to have my CEO available, like at least the next day. And so you're giving a pitch is like giving a promise. It's saying like, yeah, you can do this, that, or the other. And then if your person's not there, then you have failed for the media. They're going to be like, well, thanks. Moving on. Okay. Rule number 5. Oh, be easy to reach out after sending news. So be easy to reach for the press. This is kind of weird. Like it sounds like a no-brainer, but actually it's not in this day and age because we do email so much. And then, well, half the time the press doesn't like write us back. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? Right. So it's a little tricky, but I've just noticed lately that when you email something and they want it in email, sometimes even print will call you back. It's like, oh, I had my phone on like silent all day. Whoops. Like, don't be that person. Luckily, one time I just was really surprised the press just called me. This is print, yeah, and I only like missed the call by like an hour or something, so that's fine. But I was just a little taken back, and it was like, oh yeah, so we still need to like pay attention to our phones, even if you're like you've never spoken with this person. And so when they call you, you got to be available. So you got to put your phone number on your communication, like your real number. Don't like put some little weird number, like do yourself, the one that you have with you. And then especially for TV. So like when you're pitching different things, you got to know, like, this is a TV. I don't do that much TV. I know I talk about it a lot, but that's where a lot of the training comes in, because there's so many different rules. And I used to do a lot of TV. So with that, like, I am pitching something that's occurring today. I am on today. Like, even though I work from home, I might get ready because I might have to go out and like handle something with my client. Like, I'm on. So I got my phone with me. Okay. So, rule number 6, this is nice. It gives you little parameters. Never follow up with one press contact more than twice, no more than 2 times the same press contact. Okay. So, and I'm not telling you to totally drop it, but we do have some systems here. This is where we, well, with TV, let's just forget about TV. That's a different thing. But for, when I say print, I also mean online. So for that, you send the pitch, you don't hear back, then you resend the same pitch like the next week, or maybe even a couple days later, to save time. You don't have to repitch. It's just you're kind of saying, hey, did you get this? I know it's kind of lame, but you just do that once. And then you'll see stuff maybe start to come in. And then what that does is like, oh, good, I can just cross these off. Even if it's a no, like, it's good, like, fine. Like, I want to move on, right? You've just helped me by saying no, because my list is smaller for my follow-ups. So, and then if you're going to follow up again, like, don't just don't follow up. Let's say you've gotten like, a few stories and you're happy with that, and that was what your goal was, then you're done. We'll just leave it alone, especially if you have something harder you need to pitch another time, or you want to bug your contacts more. Or if you're like, okay, this does not meet my expectations, you can kind of like think about, well, what would a new pitch be? Like, how could I pitch it again? Or it is the right pitch, but you have to follow up with a different contact. So that's it. But just in general, never follow up more than twice to the same contact or email. And so, those people that, like, those marketers that email you consistently over and over and over, and it's the same thing. Don't do that. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks for listening. For more PR insight, be sure to check out Amy's book, A Modern Guide to Public Relations, at prtalk.co. Also, please subscribe, rate, or leave us a review.